Hey everyone, thanks to all who are watching my mini lecture today. We're looking at Black Mirror Season 7, Episode 3, Hotel Reverie through the lens of actor network theory, also known as ANT. Key ANT concepts. A few key terms will guide us here. Actor or actants, any entity, human or non human, that plays a role in shaping outcomes. Translation, the process of aligning different interests so that the network holds together. Mediators versus intermediaries. Intermediaries just carry things along without change, while mediators transform meaning or outcome. And networks, and insist that events result from distributed agency. Outcomes never belong to a single source. Crawford explains that ANT flattens the social meaning. We shouldn't assume humans are more important than the objects and technologies that shape their lives. Now, enter Hotel Reverie. Now we'll look at Ant through the lens of Hotel Reverie. The story follows Brandy Friday, a contemporary actress who agrees to star in a remake of a 1940s romantic drama. But instead of filming on a set, she has her consciousness inserted into a fully AI simulated world. Inside this simulation, she meets her supporting cast member, Clara, an AI recreation of the original actress. What starts as a job acting out a script turns into something far more complicated. Clara begins showing signs of awareness and memory, and Brandy finds herself emotionally invested. This is perfect to display Ant because humans, machines, texts, and glitches all play a major role in driving the story. So let's start with the basics. What is actor network theory? Actor network theory, also known as ANT, was developed by Bruno Latour, Michel Callon, and John Law. It offers a distinctive framework for understanding systems through the interactions of various entities. In theory, all elements that affect a system are referred to as actors or actants, including humans and non humans, such as technologies, rules, and even glitches. Ant says that networks are formed through relationships among these diverse actors and that power arises from these interactions rather than being possessed by individuals, which is illustrated in the diagram on this slide. By moving beyond simple cause and effect, Ant views agency as distributed through the network. This leads to a shift in focus from questions like what can I decide to do to exploring what networks of human and non human actors influence are available actions and how did the interactions shape outcomes. Ant tells us that human choices do not just drive the world. Instead, outcomes emerge from networks of humans and non humans working together. People, machines, documents, and even glitches in a system can all count as actors or actants. Agency isn't something humans own, it's distributed across a network where different actors, whether they're people, technologies, or objects, make a difference. This is powerful for analyzing a show like Black Mirror, which is always asking how do technologies shape, constrain, and sometimes overtake human life? So now I'd like to jump into my scene one analysis, the piano. One of the first cracks in the system comes during a piano scene. In the script, Brandy's character, Dr. Alex Palmer, is supposed to play piano to impress Clara, but Brandy doesn't know how to play. From an Ant perspective, the piano is not just a prop, it's an actant. It calls for actual skill and exposes Brandy's inability and derails the narrative just enough to shift the trajectory of the film. The script is another actor. It demands that certain events must happen in sequence. When the piano fails, Clara's response starts to shift the network. Clara herself moves from being an intermediary character, just passing along pre written lines, to a creator who generates unscripted dialogue and shows new emotional depth. Here we see disturbed agency in action. Brandy, the piano, the script, Clara, and the Redream software together produce an unexpected outcome. Now we'll jump into my scene 2 analysis, the glitch. Later, one of the employees from Redream spills his coffee on the neural system motherboard, causing a glitch to occur. The entire simulation freezes except for Brandy and Clara. The glitch itself is introduced to the network as a new non-human actor. Instead of just being a minor issue, it rewrites the network. And time for the producers moves according to the real world, while in the simulation world, from the perspective of Brandy and Clara, time moves a lot faster, and weeks then months go by, allowing the two to build a relationship. During the time freeze, Brandy mentions to Clara that she is Dorothy Chambers, which then triggers something in the network. Clara begins pulling fragments from Dorothy Chambers, the original actress. These archived memories then become part of Clara's identity. In ant terms, those documents are actants too. They feed Clara's emerging sense of autonomy and agency in the network. Meanwhile, the producers lose control of the simulation and the network is temporarily reconfigured, and Brandy and Clara build an intimate relationship, causing them to experience genuine intimacy instead of a scripted performance. The scene drives home Ant's point: non human actors like Glitch or a data archive can radically reshape human lives. So now we'll jump right into my third scene analysis, the reset and the phone. Eventually, the system is reset. Clara's memories of her time with Brandy are wiped out, but Brandy remembers everything. The story must come to an end, but they once more deviate from the original script. And they are forced to come to an end, but unlike the real script, the deviation causes an ending where Clara dies. Brandy is devastated. Back in the real world, though, Brandy receives a retro style phone that allows her to call Clara, or rather, Dorothy's preserved consciousness. Two important things happen here. Memory itself acts as an actor. The ability to erase or preserve memory shapes identity and power. Clara without her memories is fundamentally different than Clara with them. The phone is another mediator. It doesn't simply transmit sound, it transforms Brandy's grief into a fragile hope, extending the network beyond the redream simulation into her everyday reality. Again, it helps us see that technologies aren't neutral, they co produce emotional outcomes. So now I want to jump right into audience positioning. How does the episode position us, the audience? We're not just watching Brandy's story, we're being asked to see how networks produce reality. Hotel Reverie trains us to notice how things as small as a piano or a glitch can redirect entire lives. It also prompts us to reflect on our own lives. How do our phones or our digital memories or our AI tools mediate who we are, what we feel, and how we relate to others? We're invited to empathize with Brandy's grief and frustration, but also to recognize how little control individuals have when caught in vast technological and institutional networks. In conclusion, the episode of Black Mirror Hotel Reverie prompts an examination of the relationship between technology and society by employing actor network theory. The episode contests the traditional perception of technology as a neutral tool. While the portrayal of technology may seem exaggerated and speculative, it does hold prophetic qualities. Currently, our realities are increasingly influenced by a convergence of human and non human actors within various networks, which include artificial intelligence, algorithms, and the devices we use daily. As Crawford reminds us, Ant expands agency beyond the human. Black Mirror pushes us to confront what that really means. I hope my analysis encourages us all to be aware of the interconnected networks that shape our lives. Thanks for watching.